Our Weather Channel's Justin Michaels in Waverly. Justin, we heard a lot of really tragic stories there yesterday. How are things different today? Are they making progress with the cleanup and recovery?
Yeah, Jackie, they are making progress, and we're seeing that all around town. But we're also seeing investigators in, we're seeing teams in with cadaver dogs as they still look for those missing people. We understand it's right around 12 people still missing. So the good news is the death toll has stayed at 21, but the number of missing is falling, and that death toll is not going up. As tragic as it is, it's not rising since yesterday. That's a little bit of good news. Now, what caused all this? Well, of course, there's that 17 inches of rain, but also I'm standing right now in the Trace Creek. It's only a few inches deep up my calf at this point, a little deeper right behind me if I get to the center of the creek. But folks, this is what flooded. And when I tell you it flooded, I mean it flooded in historic fashion. So not only did it go over the bridge that I'm standing next to, well over it, it went a lot further than that. So stay with me, because I'm going to take you on a little tour here, because everywhere I'm standing, everywhere I'm going to walk, and everywhere you're going to see on Saturday afternoon and evening was completely underwater over my head. Let me get up this hill. And people were telling us that the water rose around them from the time they got from their front door to their car. They got in their car, and their car was floating. So they got to walk through it, and it was about calf deep, they said. And by the time they got in their car, they couldn't even turn it on before it started floating away. Follow me over here. You can see a lot of the debris here. The water was flowing this way. Downstream, trees are bent over the entire way down this thing. Water extending out for blocks in every direction. You can see it completely destroyed the footing of this bridge. Not often do you get to see the underside of a bridge, but there it is. And we'll walk over this way to show you what it did to the road. Completely ripping up the road, asphalt, at least a foot thick, tossed around like paper. Moving through here, complete devastation. Everywhere you go, every single house had more than 6 feet of water in it. Everywhere where you're going to see today. You can see that structure back there used to be over here on this foundation. House after house after house after house. Find a house, it had more than 6 feet of water in it. And the best evidence of that is if I walk you over here, completely destroyed front yard, filled with sediment from the Trace Creek. Again, debris everywhere. Just shocking the amount of debris there actually is. And we finally get over here to give you some perspective on how high the water got. Here's your water line, folks. So we're talking about when we started, it was a couple inches up on my calves, went up over the road, over a bridge that was at least 20, 25 feet, comes up to here above my head on this house. And you can see the damage in this home. If you step too far back, you might say, well, there's nothing wrong with that house. Well, look through these windows here. That house is completely destroyed on the inside. And this is just one of countless homes here. And this is, of course, at a time where this town is still trying to figure out what the heck just happened to us and how are we going to get through it? How are we going to find those 12 people who are still missing? The crews are in. The organizations are in to help, faith-based and civic. Food is being distributed. Businesses are cleaning out. Homes are being cleaned out. People are trying to figure out what can we salvage. And we're going to be showing that to you all afternoon. And this town is truly reeling. In fact, something has stuck with me over the last 24 hours. When we were one street over, a gentleman said to me yesterday, he's lived in this town his entire life. They might as well just bring in levelers and level the entire town and we can start over. That's the feel here in Waverly. People are feeling a bit defeated, but they do feel that they can move forward. They're asking the governments to help. They're asking civic organizations to help, and they're trying to figure out how to help themselves. Of course, it is always people helping people, and people are flooding into this town to do just that. But Jackie, throughout the course of the afternoon, this is one of those days where the Weather Channel is going to be your one-stop shop for seeing things you've never seen before. Because this is just the beginning. We're going to walk you down streets, ideally into people's homes with them to talk about what they experienced. And Jackie, just one street over from where we are right now, the entire street, front yards are filled with every item that was in that house as people are bringing them out because they are all destroyed. people's lives literally completely destroyed and sitting in their front yards, Jackie. The whole town is like this. We've got a lot to show you. This isn't a Hollywood fiction, Jackie. This is real life in Waverly, Tennessee today.
It really
Stay
is
with us, Jackie,
surreal, Justin, to see, all the sediment and all the rocks in somebody's front yard. It's like the river bottom is just right there in front of their home. I wanted to ask you also about that bridge. I assume the bridge is not safe to travel over.
No, actually it is. In fact, we've seen crews coming through. We've seen people coming to their homes. I know it might seem a little precarious, but one lane of it seems to be perfectly safe. In fact, somebody from one of the, I won't mention the name of the insurance company, but an insurance company, a big one that you've seen commercials for, just drove through here not all that long ago. So it's not closed. Authorities are not stopping people from going over it. So we can only assume and hope that, Jackie, that they have assessed this bridge for travel.
Right.
We drove across it. The insurance companies are driving across it, and it's not blocked off.
That's
but
good.
Still, Jackie, I mean, my goodness, take a look at this. Look at this hole. I mean, you could put a car in this hole. Truly, an entire vehicle could fit down there. Wow. So it's just remarkable, the scenes here. These folks need a lot of help. If you want to help, this is where it's needed right now.
So, Justin, yesterday we saw a lot of people working on your location. I'm not really seeing anybody in the background. Where are people today?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Honestly, I guess they needed a break, Jackie, because it is about lunchtime here. We're 1 hour removed from you. It's about 12:15 here. We have seen people, in fact, I don't know, Mike, if you can see, there's some people huddled under that porch of that home right there, another home that was completely washed through by the Trace Creek. They're all huddled around. I have to believe they're just taking a break in this hot Tennessee sun. It is very, very hot and humid here today. So I have to believe, Jackie, give people a couple minutes just to catch their breath, drink some water, have a sandwich, and they're going to hit back at it again.